Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to Pulphonics. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Stu and Sean from Pulphonics. You guys, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Well, I should say, I'm going to put a little caveat on that. Somehow, so I went to a couple shows Friday and Saturday, and now I'm developing a little bit of a cold, so you might notice a little nasaliness, and blame it on some dirty bastard that was at one of those shows. But
Fair
otherwise, good.
Hey, did you have fun though?
I did.
Good.
It was my birthday last Friday, and
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
happy belated birthday.
Yeah, I went out to Grand Rapids to see a punk rock show at Tip Top Deluxe with, let's see, Electric Frankenstein, Slumlord Radio, Mazinga, and the Von Werewolves. So there was some firsts in there because I haven't seen Electric Frankenstein. I'd seen Mazinga a few times and Slumlord Radio a few times, but there was a first for them. And first, I mean, I've been to a lot of different places in Michigan, but I've never been to Tip Top Deluxe. That place is a good, nice little bar. So
That's actually one of the few Grand Rapids bars I don't think we ever did.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's it's a little place. The stage is like set in the corner. It's small. I think they just have like a PA for the vocals, so it's just like huge stage volume to keep the rest of the. But it's a small place, so. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then Saturday I went to an improv show at Hearsay Brewing, and that was super fun. Good beer, comedy. So yeah. But enough about me. Last time I was looking back, we talked in April. So it was April 2024, and Sonic Umami Volume 1 had come out. And now on May 8th, you got Sonic Umami Volume 2, which is fantastic. I've been checking it out. Love how it sounds, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys about that.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
All right.
All right. So, I was listening. I've been immersing myself in the Umami. Also going back to Volume 1 and then comparing. And there's definitely a natural progression that I'm hearing between Volume 1 and Volume 2. Maybe a little bit more jazz arrangements going on Volume 2.
That's probably my influence.
And then maybe a little bit, there's a few tunes with like definitely some edgier guitar. But
yeah.
But overall, it seems like a natural progression. I'm curious what you guys, as far as like comparing and contrasting Volume 1 versus Volume 2.
Energy.
Yeah.
The amount in therein. Yeah.
That's the honest truth. We started writing what was going to become both Sonic Umami projects at the same time. Like there are songs on number 2 that were like some of the first things we wrote when we first started doing this project.
Okay.
I don't remember what the rationale was, but Sonic Umami 1, we said, let's try and make this one be the more mellow. And number 2 now has the bulk of the energy from the whole last almost 2 years of us writing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them were in the bank already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, some we had kind of sat on for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some that took a little longer to cook. And
yeah.
And maybe we should have balanced them better, but
Nah.
No, I like the way that the two of them flow together actually. And so were you thinking of that when they were putting together number 2? Were you thinking of like the flow of those, or was it just like, because I'm really curious, like if all that music was around the same, well, in the process of being formed over the same period of time, how did 2 evolve over 1? Like what were some of the thoughts going on in your guys' heads?
I'm sorry, the 2 becoming 1, you mean how did?
Yeah, like just how did you pick those songs that other than the thought of like we were gonna make volume one a little bit more mellow and volume two a little bit more of the energy stuff. Was there any other thoughts as far as like trying to figure out like how we want to structure volume two?
Um, I mean, within the 10 songs that are in number two, um, I know I wanted to start strong, and I wanted it to end on a more somber, meaningful note.
Uh,
Um, and for me, an album track listing, same way as a set list, I want to make something that a an audience member or a listener could listen to all the way through and be happy. So if you have all the energy up front or all of it in the back, it's not a balanced experience.
yeah.
Um, so that was, I mean, there's still even with volume two having a lot more energy, there's still breaks in it.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Yep.
and but I mean, like you said, like there's jazz and rock influences in this. It's still kind of all over the map.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know if there's a perfect way to balance all the tracks out or not.
So did you guys, when you were working on volume two, did you tweak any of the songwriting as you were going, or was it pretty much you've had those in the bank, so to say, and you were just recording them and getting them, basically produced?
A little bit of a mix. There's some songs where we started individually writing a song, brought it to the table, and then we developed it. And then there's some where we just sat down and that's what happened.
Awesome. Well,
Uh,
We were
I'd like,
actually
yeah,
talking
go ahead.
earlier today, and we're currently um, got something in the process that's a little bit more collaborative, and it kind of got us to talking about how like songs are constructed in a way, like the songwriting process specifically for lyrics. But it got me thinking that I tend to prefer the organic approach to songwriting personally. I
So
think I always perform better when we're kind of building on that idea cooperatively instead of
mhm.
having something pre-planned.
I gotcha. And
Yeah.
so, when you're talking about like future or well things more collaboratively, is that like in in respect to like how you guys are working on new material now versus how
Hmm.
you had for before?
Well, it's just a different layer of uh it's just more musicians essentially. So the perspective broadens and
Yeah,
you get different personalities that show you like different sides of how people are creative musically or how their process works, that sort of thing.
yeah, yeah.
So, and I was watching this, I think it's Drumeo, the Drumeo channel had an interview with Phil Collins. It was like a long form interview where he basically went through his career, his different kits, how he started drumming, all that stuff. And like a lot of the riffs and licks that he's known for, fills, all that stuff. He says, well, that's just what I played at the time. It's what I felt like playing.
Yeah.
And people said, like, I'd ask him after the take, I was like, why'd you do that? Like, how'd you think to do that? He's like, I don't know. Just felt right at the moment. So I, yeah,
So,
that's sort of how I like to do it too.
yeah. So do you think that you were achieving that with volume two and any of those tunes where they were kind of that organic growth?
Oh, oh, for sure. The ninth track, Elevator Full of Broccoli. I'm
That's
not giving
awesome.
anything too crazy away here. That was 75% of that song, I'll say, was we made it in a single session. Um, and what's funny is comparing organic versus very planned. I had been working on a song on and off that I loved the idea of it um, for like 18 months, almost 2 years, just trying to develop this one idea.
Yeah.
And the day before we were going to have that session, I was reading the lyrics, looking at my chord progression, and I was like, I hate this. This is shit. Um, and I showed up empty-handed to that session, and that was the last song that we recorded for the whole project. Um, but and at the same time, like going back to the Artist Money album, our first uh, full album, there was a lot of songs in there where not just me, but Dustin at the time too, would come to a session. I wrote this for the bass. I want the drums to do this. I want the guitar to do this, and it's going to be sung like this.
Right.
Everybody get your place. And even now, with things that we don't come up with on the spot, I come in minimal. It's I want here's the chord progression I think we can work with, and here's the lyrics that I wrote to go with that. Let's figure out where to start.
That's awesome. I love that.
But yeah, that the the whole Pulphonics process is a very much organic blender.
I think everything bagel, wasn't that something that you had, like you were tooling around one day and recorded a loop and you're like, ooh, this is kind of
Kind of.
spicy. And then we might have like replicated the effect at the time, but like the like the
Oh, that was
punchy kind of like weird washing machine musically.
like 2 weeks before that session, I had got that effects unit, and I was showing it off to you, I think, and we ran into that one arpeggiated pattern, and
hmm
we
Yeah.
just looped it for however many minutes and just kept building on it.
It's like, hey, this is cool. Let's go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to dive into a couple of the tunes that I was listening to, and one of them is Staring at a Wall. It's got this,
Yeah.
that tune's super cool. I love that because you've really dived into an electronica sound, but also some really cool guitars. So I was wondering, like, how did that tune come about? What was the growth of that one?
That song is
Yeah,
actually
that's
really old.
yep.
Um,
We've had that one for years. We just never know what to do with it.
that was
We've had like three different versions of the song. I think we prefer them like two different ones live.
and we've done two different versions live. We actually recorded a version of it when we did Art is Money in the studio. We never put it out, but originally it was like a metal song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Um, and it was called Arson at the time. And we always liked the concept, but there was always like particulars about the execution we just weren't happy with, just didn't click right.
Yeah.
And we had talked on and on about doing it, and trying to just reshape it into something completely different. I don't actually remember, Sean, how we got to making it the way we did.
It was probably, I think it was the beat, probably.
Yeah, I think
Like the and then it just, I don't know. You put a
Morphed from
bass line,
there.
you put some, filling stuff, and then the like the synth breakdown chords. I was just, I don't know, just sitting for me personally, like if you like hearing the same parts of music over and over again, my mind just kind of builds layers on it. Like, and the way that Stu and I talk about music is textural in a lot of ways. Like something smooth or like choppy or
Oh, okay.
um
So using like a physical attribute to
yeah,
describe
Mhm.
like
the
putting a
sound.
synth on and just like getting it real low into the register and getting the gravel on just like rocks your brain around.
Yeah.
So,
And like I was talking about, the jazz and electronica definitely seems to be a higher profile in volume two. And another tune that I really dug was Whippersnapper. And
yeah.
you know, what was that like? Well, again, how did that tune come about? And were you looking to actually integrate more jazz and electronica into the sound?
No, that song was a fight.
Yeah.
That's the second song we wrote in the Sonic Umami, I guess, sessions, we call them.
Uh-huh.
And it was a very organic one. Uh, if I remember right, Sean had a riff that he liked, and I think I only wanted to use part of it, and it's that part in the beginning and the end of the song that loops.
Mm-hmm.
Do 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 do. That bit, um, and um, my guitarist ego definitely got in the way at different points because I kept pushing, um, and uh, the second half of the song is very much Sean pushing back.
Well, that
Mm-hmm.
that that brings up an interesting thing. So, since there is a electronic element as well as a guitar element, and of course you can like add synth and other effects to a guitar to give it different tones, but how does that balance out? Is it uh, do you find each of you like trying to say, hey, we need to have a little bit more of this, and the other one pushing back, or is it like, as we've gone through, because clearly you guys have evolved this music, with Sonic and Umami to a totally different realm than when you started.
I mean,
So,
practice makes perfect. Yeah. I mean, we're still learning a lot. I wouldn't say we're masters by any means, but
Uh,
we have music that I don't know. I don't know if music is something I like create internally and present, or if it's something I just kind of need a little bit of a seed for, and then I
right.
imagine it, I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine that, having, because, so far that we've been talking, mentioning like organic types of song development and taking it from Stu and mentioning, coming in more of a clean palette and then developing off that. That does feel to me like you guys are progressing into more of a, not that you haven't been progressive all along, but it just is that process seems to be refining. And I don't know if you notice it or if
I
it's,
feel it.
yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no,
The
it's
mixes are better, the masters sound better.
we're way more efficient with how like quickly we can get things down and evolve it.
Hmm.
Uh,
And we'll
yeah,
just sit with it if we need to for a while, and then, you know,
yeah,
just like we probably said last time, at a certain point whether you got something worthwhile or, you know,
yeah.
well,
Do you have to
like
fight
a
the
I
urge to
part of the
keep,
creative machine.
do you have to fight the urge to keep refining?
Yeah.
yes and no. I mean, there's
You
at
don't
least
mix it, man. Mixing's the
okay,
part that gets me in that hole, dude.
not not talking about the mix here. I'm referring more to the tracking, but
Right, yeah, yeah.
um, at least for me, it's I feel in a way that I have grown is I very much in our earlier days uh, had that guitarist ego of I wanted the guitar to be blazingly loud. I want a solo in every song. I want to shred, and we really wanted to kind of fit into that hard rock space, and we never quite did.
I
And
was always playing jazz bullshit and like funk stuff.
Throwing Stu
um,
off.
Yeah.
yeah, he was. And but the longer we've been doing this, the more I see it now as I'm not making something necessarily for me to show off. I'm not trying to make a rock song. I'm
Right.
trying to let the song be what it wants to be.
Yeah.
That sounds so hippie,
I
weird
know.
No,
BS,
you're
but
up
it's
against algorithms, man. You have to just be persistent.
That's true. Yeah.
but
And
it's
organic.
but yeah,
Right. Like humans.
it's recognizing like there's in the songs with lyrics especially there's a message and it's like did we convey the message? Does the song feel like it needs anything else or does it stand on its own? And once we answer those questions, we can push it forward, kick it out of the nest, let it fly on its own.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. So another tune that I really dig that I think is again like this expansion for you guys as far as your sound is When the Smoke Clears.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's got like some, beats. There's some raps in there. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, where did this come from?
Yeah. That's my
It's fu-
foray, I guess. So
It
it,
sounds awesome. It was good. I
thank you.
mean, yeah.
Thank you.
But I was like, whoa, all right, these guys are still, I mean, and we talked about this last time, but you're still like pushing the boundaries and mixing it all up. And like, we are
Hmm.
not, don't care about any genre. We're just going to try them all.
Yeah.
mhm.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
Pulphonics. That's in the name.
that it's funny too. That song evolved at least 3 times, kind of similar to "Staring at a Wall." It's not as old as that one, but it started out as kind of almost like a rockabilly love song.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Um, and I loved it at the time, and Sean was infinitely disappointed with it.
No, I don't
Um,
know. It felt campy. Like,
it was a campy like rockabilly kind of love song,
yeah.
and uh, I insisted on not giving up on that song. Um, and we the second evolution of it, we tried to change it around, and uh, me being petty, I was like, well, it's not a love song anymore. Now it's going to be a hate song. And then this time, or the time around of what it is now, um, I had reworked the lyrics pretty close to what they are. But I had when we brought it back to life, I had intended it for it to be a rock song still, and uh, honestly, I think you just took the wheel, Sean, and it became
Yeah.
this. You,
I wanted more like hip hoppy kind of, you know, broad
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah. 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 No,
I do like hip hop and pop and all that stuff, R&B.
well, you definitely have the beats mixed in there and the raps in there too. And who's doing the raps, Sean or Stu?
Yeah, that's me.
All
I sing
right.
on it as well.
All right.
I
Awesome.
I love and appreciate rap and hip hop, but that is not even close to being forte for me.
Yeah. Well, you're a guitar player. I think us guitar
Yeah,
players struggle with that a little bit.
Yeah, and
Unless
I'm a
you,
drummer,
yeah,
so
yeah,
most.
yeah. Drummers,
rap
yep.
and rap and rhythm are
Exactly.
not necessarily codependent, but they jive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, Stu. I appreciate it, and there are songs that I like, but it's not my go-to. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just not my wheelhouse. But I totally appreciate the art form and
Hmm.
can can appreciate the work that goes into doing that because I couldn't, no way. So
But
another tune I wanted to ask you guys about is you decided to throw in a kind of a really off the wall cover that I thought was we got
Dragula?
yeah
Yeah.
Dracula by Rob
Yeah.
Zombie, and that
Yeah.
is unlike any other zombie cover I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
What
Hopefully it
was it
doesn't
about
piss him
that
off if
song?
he hears it.
What was
That's
it?
probably what I was like, what the hell is it?
Yeah, who did
So
this? No, he'll probably think it's
He
awesome
actually
actually.
creates a Dragula and drives it to my house.
um, at one point, it was shortly after we had done Ghost Riders in the Sky. I had the idea of what are things that no one would ever expect to hear us cover, and how can we make it not sound like anything like what it was originally intended to be. And uh, I've always liked Dragula. Actually, the reason one of the reasons Dragula came to front of mind when I was thinking of what potential covers we could do is I don't know if you remember, but way back when the first Matrix movie came out, there is a uh, I don't remember the name of the artist that did it, but there's a specific remix of that song that's played in like some industrial dance format. And I always thought that version of the song was just super cool. And was I kind of thought what could we do to kind of tap into like that vein? Like how could we take this song and turn it into something else? And vocoding was obvious.
It was drummer driven a lot too.
Yeah, and the drums reshaped it into like a dance beat, but not the dance beat that I was in my head at all. But
Yeah.
the whole thing turned out just this bizarre, weird interpretation of what that song could be.
Yeah, it's a trip. I definitely enjoyed it because I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Because I saw the title. I'm like, okay, maybe they I didn't know what to
Okay, what?
expect. Yeah. And then I started listening. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? But it's
Yeah.
really cool. I think you guys did a great job with that.
Thank you.
So, I have noticed, and I've realized that I've been failing to actually put my little like stamp on there, but on your Facebook page, you've got these Tank Tone Thursdays. And I was like, what, what are the Tank Tone Thursdays?
I didn't expect that to come up. So uh, I've been managing the social media. Um, it's been a learning curve. Um, and there's
Applaud you for that.
thank you,
I
Yeah.
couldn't, man.
thank you. Like personally, I will browse Instagram and lurk on things, but like I don't have a big social media presence personally.
Yeah.
So it feels, at least in the beginning, it felt very weird and unnatural. Because and this was an oversight on my part. We really didn't do much to build up our social media prior to Sonic Umami 1.
Right.
Um, so I've been really trying to build up our online presence and following since then. Anyone who's listening, please help me out. And
Wow.
see, see, shameless promoting. Um,
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
but there's so many trends that both artists and musicians and people do, and they come and go so quickly. Um, and I mean, like most people, I work full time and I have kids. I don't have time to
Right.
dedicate 3 hours a day to working on a camera or whatever to try and make something go viral. Um, so the Tank Tone Thursday came up, and I honestly don't even remember where I got the idea, but I've uh, been the last 2 years I've gotten into aquarium. I only have the one, and for some reason I just thought I was like, I'm so tired of looking through all of these websites for like free stock footage for things like,
Yeah.
but I don't want to film myself. Um, uh, I don't want to put too much of my personal stuff into like videos and things. Just sort of like, what could I do? And I was like, and the idea came. I was like, oh, I got this new tank, and it's got these color changing lights in it. Might be kind of cool to just film that, turn the audio off on that, and just put tracks behind it. Um, and one of our background projects right now is creating some really unique chord progressions and kind of ambience
Oh,
music.
yeah.
Um, so I was like, well, I need to practice anyway. I might as well just practice with a looper on and just see what I can capture with my looper. And so that's all those tracks are. It's just me practicing.
That's awesome.
Um, uh,
I just like seeing the fish swimming around with some music. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah.
yeah, that's all it's supposed to be. Like I probably would not put shredding,
Yeah.
doodling solos like that in there. It's probably going to be mostly chord progressions. I know I did one where it was really thick fuzz, kind of like a doom rock type of riff, but it was still slow enough to where I think it made sense.
Yeah.
And if it didn't, oh well, there'll be a
Right.
new one next week.
The fish would understand.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that the fish probably don't want anything too crazy. They want it to be kind of chill, I would imagine. And the
Oh,
doom,
they
I
love
would.
Pantera, actually.
Well, I was thinking like for a doom song, you need one of those like an eel. That seems like a fish that would love doom. Sitting in this little cave going,
Some
Surprisingly,
crabs,
yeah,
spiked starfish.
funny enough, my shrimp colony, you can't really see them in the videos, but There's probably like 30 blue shrimp in there right now.
Oh wow.
And I actually do have a fish that's an eel type in there. It's just always hiding.
Yeah, those guys, they're just constantly hiding. But yeah, I
There,
love that. And I think when you're talking about like, folks are working, and there's a guy that I'm I guess, avid follower of what he writes on Substack, and he's all about like bands not wasting their time on social media and just for the bare necessities, not spending like hours and hours trying to create content or chasing the latest trend. It's more about because really what you're doing as a musician is creating music and
I just want to make music, man. That's it.
exactly, yeah. Nobody
And
wants
there's
to be
enough.
out there doing fucking videos on YouTube. Well, YouTube is fine, but
Some
fucking
people like it.
Facebook, yeah. It's just
Not for me though.
no. Yeah.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather
No,
be in the lab cooking up some tunes.
Exactly.
tank tones is definitely one of the better for me type things that I've done. In that it's not really extra work for me to because I need to practice anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, I think it
and
works.
then yeah, and then
Yeah, did you
I
practice today, Stu?
Oh.
yeah, don't tell my boss. Um,
Nice.
uh, well, oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh
Well,
no, that's the story behind tank tones.
it's awesome. I think it works good. So
Yeah, Stu nailed it.
when you guys are feeling like stuck creatively, Christ,
There you go.
what do you guys do to get out of it? What are methods or things that you do to kind of re-spark your creativity?
I feel like we lean on each other a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like actually like say, "Hey, man, I'm just like kind of stuck on this thing." What's that? What is that like? Or is it just like you're noodling around? Maybe Stu, you're playing this thing, and Sean goes, "Christ, you've been playing the same thing. Do you have anything else?"
No,
Yeah,
he I don't know, both of us just kind of randomly noodle if we're at an instrument.
yeah, but yeah, and
Like
that'll
I'll just play
sometimes
random beats, like change the timing up, just whatever.
and we'll have sessions where we have an agenda of like we need to add to this track, we need to do this or change this part of this track. But then there's sessions where we come in and we're just kind of blank, and it's like, do we have any ideas that we didn't finish before? Do we have any like what are we doing? And one of us comes up with something, and the other one will just jump on.
Nice. So
No,
do you have any, if you weren't creating music, what do you think you would be doing to be creative? Because obviously you both are creative individuals, so I have to imagine it's going to come out some way. If you can't play music, what else would you do?
I want to hear Sean's answer.
probably drawing. Drawing
Nice,
or woodworking, maybe.
nice. Although you got to be careful with saws,
Yeah.
as any musician, but
I'm hoping that'll be a later in life thing for me. Eventually I can get a setup.
oh, awesome, cool. Have you done woodworking? Woodworking?
I mean little like whittling stuff, but
Yeah, nice. Do you want to make
I
furniture
don't
or what kind of stuff?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Like I would
awesome.
at the end of my life I'd love to have made my own kitchen table and chairs and a coat rack and cutting boards.
Holy cow, that'd be cool, man. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. So, Stu, how about you?
Um, well, by day I'm a writer, so that's where it would be. Um,
Good at it
my
too.
yeah, my day job is I'm a copywriter for a marketing agency, um, which doesn't always satisfy the creative itch. I've had days where I'm just working on legal disclaimers, and
Yeah.
there's no joy in that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that has always been like music for me is a much more like it's almost like a 360 like creative itch satisfying me. Because it's just you're just touching more senses, and there's so much to it. Um, but if I didn't have that, I would probably be writing fiction.
Oh, nice. Have you done any fiction writing?
I have. I've only ever had a short story published, but
Cool. Awesome. That's something I that intrigues me. Like I'm also intrigued by people that write in journals. Do you guys write in journals?
Nope.
No.
like a personal, like a diary type
Yeah.
journal.
Well, yeah, just like journaling for whatever thoughts, ideas.
The only journal I've kept, and it's not even a regular thing that I keep. I have on my computer what I guess the equivalent of a journal is, but it's running musical ideas, mostly lyrics and things like, oh, this would be a cool phrase to use in a song somewhere. Um, I might get an idea for something random, and I'll write out as much as I feel like I can at the moment, and then save it and close the document,
Yeah. I
and come
I've
back
always
to it later when I need ideas.
yeah, I've always been intrigued by those two things, both fiction writing and nonfiction writing, the process of that, and then also the just journaling. I've seen again on Substack. There's a whole kinds of stuff. I mean, if you're into photography, if you're in any kind of art form, there's all kinds of stuff to read and check out. But I've been sort of obsessed with that and people creating zines. Have you guys seen like back in the day when we used to like go to a photocopier and put together flyers? I don't know if you guys remember doing that, but you probably don't because you're not that old.
No.
But
Yeah.
I remember that shit, and I also
Yeah.
remember making like little zines. A buddy of mine used to do. It was called Epitaph Magazine actually, but that was just put together on a piece of paper and photocopied and then turned into a magazine. And I was like, oh man! And they're back. These people are making all these little zines and art zines, and it's
Oh, that's
crazy.
cool.
Yeah, I was like,
Like in
wow.
physical or digital.
Yeah, physical. Like,
That's nice.
yeah, actual physical paper. And my wife made me one for my birthday.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's see
nobody
it.
can see it on our podcast, but it's like an accordion based magazine. And let me open it up here. Of course, nobody that's listening can hear this, but they can hear it opening. And so basically, it's like it accordions out. It's got like pictures from our Germany trip that we took, and so yeah, it's kind of cool. And it's like makes it a little fan, which you can't see very well.
That's very nice.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so we get into zines, but when you were talking about writing and doing those things, I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun. So I was wondering, you know, um, back when you first started, and then zooming forward to now, what if you could go back to when you were first starting to play music, what would be like one little nugget of wisdom that you would give to earlier you to say that
Are
may have impacted you later in life if you'd known it then as opposed to now?
we speaking in the context of music or life in general?
It could be either life in general or your musical career.
I would pick music and say to have taken my piano lessons more seriously when I was younger. I just wanted to go home. So boring.
I didn't even know you had piano lessons as a
Yeah,
kid.
I just wanted to play, but they were like, "Nope, we're doing these exercises. You're showing me these scales, play this song." I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fine, but I just wanted to play the thing and listen to how it sounded.
Well, that explains why you're so much better at the keys than I am.
There you go.
Yeah, we always had a piano in the house. My sister took lessons too.
Oh, cool.
There's always a piano in my house too. I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had learned to play piano earlier. I don't know how to at all, but I'm again those little things that fascinate you that you don't know how to do. That's one of them. Is like keyboards. I'm like, oh, that would be really cool because I love the possibilities that are there. Not that you can't do it with guitar, but it's different. But so Stu, how
Well, I
about
feel
you?
like Stu's kind of pushing that boundary. It's guitar vocoder, guitar synths, guitar
Yeah,
organ.
that's true. Yeah.
Guitar
Yeah.
is versatile. That's
Yeah.
one of the things I like about it. I don't know, because there's this. I feel like this is a corny answer again. There's things about the growth and the journey that I don't know if me telling myself something would make a difference. Um, but one of the first things that came to mind when you said the question was my equipment. I would have given myself basically a grocery list and said, "This is the equipment you're gonna love. Don't mess with all this other shit."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a perfect piece right there. Because yes, so many times I can't tell you how much crap I bought that I don't have now because I was like, why the fuck do I have this?
Well, I'm a pedal fiend. I don't, minus people that I know that own their own and studios.
Yeah.
Um, like I think right now there's 11 pedals on my board, not counting the looper. Um,
Which that thing's a
there's
friggin' powerhouse of equipment.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
11. That's not bad. Come on.
but I that's and it kind of back to what we said earlier about we really look for textures in
Mhm.
sound. Like that is the key to all of my textural magic is being able to uh, go into I don't even know how many different types of modulation I have, but that's something I rely on a lot, and I have always loved fuzz. So learning what the different types of fuzzes and the types that I ended up landing on really liking.
Yeah.
Um, I would have tried to have saved myself some time doing that.
Yeah, because you can spend literally thousands of hours searching for tones, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure it's the same way with you, Sean, when you're, working with the keys or any type of synths, you're
Mm-hmm.
probably
It's
searching for
very, yeah.
tones. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the endless quest for tones.
Yeah, man. You have so many options these days.
I know. It's crazy.
Used to be like a lot of the original sounds were just hacks on equipment, like
Yeah.
knowing how the physical equipment would react to, pushing extra voltage or cranking something all the way up or barely having something responsive,
Yeah. Well,
analog.
I think I remember listening to if you haven't listened to it, it's a really good podcast. It's called History of Rock Music in 500 Songs, and the guy goes through basically a tune, but he does like this intensive research about the band at that time doing this song, and like he's mentioned there, were like basically fuzz, how that came about was just that the way these amplifiers were being mic'd, right?
Hmm.
And it was like, what? This is crazy. And that's how they created fuzz tone, like the Beatles. When you hear some of that, you know, the way that is done is basically mic placement on maybe a shitty little cone that's, over, it's overdriven.
Well, it's uh, fascinating too how much uh, music innovation has come from accidents.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite Zeppelin songs is "When the Levee Breaks," and they were renting this old house or mansion or something, and they couldn't get the drum set to fit through the door, so he had to play the drums in the bottom of a like metal spiral stairwell, and
Oh,
that's why the drums have that massive reverb on them. Is because they literally couldn't get them into the room, so they just dragged a mic out there to him,
Yeah. So
and
you could never like, well, you probably can now with the way that sounds can be, um, you know, I can't think of the right term, but basically pulled off and recreated. But back then, everyone was probably trying to figure out like how in the hell do you get the sound of Bottom's drums?
yeah.
well,
And you'd learn a lot about the process and the equipment and everything else too.
well, it's I would argue it's not. It's that type of experiment is not dead by any means. I saw something the other day. Not that I'm a huge fan specifically of the song, but the song G6. that pop dance song from probably 10 years ago or so, like a G6, like a G6. Um, the producer of that song was in an interview and he was talking about he had written a bass line for that song and he was dragging tracks around to reorganize them in whatever he was using software wise. And there was bells on the top as a like a top layer track. And he accidentally grabbed the bells and dragged them into the bass mix. And that's what became the song because he never expected it to sound the way it did. So,
So yeah, happy accidents, as
hap-
Bob Ross would say.
happy accidents and not being afraid to screw something up can help you find new things.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, you've got Volume 2 coming out on May 9th.
Mm-hmm.
What else have you guys got in the hopper? What's cooking next for Pulphonics?
Secrets.
Secrets of from the depths.
Yeah, we've had an itch to do more ambient atmospheric stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I like tabletop gaming. I play Dungeons and Dragons, so
Excellent.
I'm real big
Me
into
too.
Yeah,
fantasy and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're
Um,
being modest. You're the DM for our campaign.
I know. I'm not trying to like oust my nerd flag right off the bat. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yes.
If people listen to our music, they know we're nerds.
I was
I
gonna say
suppose. Yeah.
yeah, if they've been listening to this podcast for the interviews, they have to know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
That's
sometimes
cool.
I'll just listen to that, and I don't know. It's not like a get you all pumped up
Yeah,
feeling,
yeah.
but it can be like
It's more to
mysterious,
yeah, mysterious or just like you said, ambient.
tense,
You're
or
kind of
yeah,
like creating moods, and it doesn't.
textures in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, exactly. And it doesn't
Yeah,
have to
without
be
the
super
intention of like
crazy.
yeah, no song, no lyrics, no message, just music.
Sounds. Yeah,
Just vibes.
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Um,
So we've got handful of tracks for that, and yeah, did a
Cool.
film score pretty recently.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say
mhm.
that
Part of
seems
it
like that
anyway.
would lend into a film score pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know at least on our Spotify, it's one of our listed tracks
And
from Hellfire Hades.
oh, all right. Is
Yeah.
that a film or a
It's
video
it's
game?
a it's an independent film series now. It's a comedy horror.
Oh, all right.
You can find them if you Google Hellfire Hades. They both pop up. But they're YouTube films. Um, the second installment is actually in some film festivals currently. Um, and shout out to the film and to us. The most recent film festival it was in, it actually won for best score.
Oh, wow, cool. Awesome, man. That's
Mm.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a fun project and it's been a fun opportunity for us to do something totally different that we never thought we were going to be doing.
Nice. Do you plan to try to do some more of that? I mean, you're
I'd like
obviously
to.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we'd
I
like
really
to.
enjoy that process. Yeah.
Um, and recently, um, I did on my own. I did an ambient show and met other musicians at that ambient show, and was invited to this musician networking event.
Oh,
And a
cool.
lot of people were showing off their newest music in a Discord channel, and we were all talking and giving each other feedback on tracks. And there was a majority of the people that were in that meeting that I went to were hip hop artists and rappers. And I thought it was like, well, we have not really held when the smoke clears to the fire yet. Let's see what these artists think of it. So I shared that track and was overwhelmed with like the response. It was great.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
gave us a ton of confidence that like yes we did not screw this up. We've stepped into
Yeah.
this genre at least a little bit successfully. Um, but that's also helped us make more connections that we normally would not have been able to make. Um, so we've been collaborating with a few artists on some hopefully upcoming projects soon.
Cool. Very cool.
I say I hopefully as in they will be finished. I'm just hoping they'll be finished soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that it will take 2 years to get done.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for being on Fans with Bands. And I've got one last question because I've already asked you about pizza. I've already asked you about breakfast food. And so this one is a little bit, I don't know, slightly, shoot, I can't think of the right word. Basically, my personal interest. But, you know, what's your favorite place to go vacation?
Oh.
Florida was nice.
Awesome.
I don't know. I haven't taken a vacation in quite a while.
Oh man, that's a bummer. Well, if
Yeah.
you could go somewhere, maybe I'll rephrase it. If you could go somewhere, where would you like to go?
I'd like to go to the East Coast,
Oh,
like
any particular place?
continental USA, and probably up to Maine too, like Pennsylvania and New England.
Nice.
Yeah, some fresh seafood.
Yeah, there you go. Some
Looking out over the
lobster
sea.
rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Aw-
Great Lakes are wonderful, but
Yeah.
Ocean View is it's a little different.
Stu, how about you?
So I don't know if I have a specific favorite vacation place. I love the UP. But saying that, one of my favorite vacations I got to go on was Japan.
Oh wow.
Um, that was it just everything about Japan was fascinating. The way just the culture, the way they do things, the food, everything was really cool. Um, but a place that I've always wanted to go is Machu Picchu.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would be one that I'd like to go to. It just feels like so hard to get there, but I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not like I don't think there's like really direct flights
Yeah,
um,
yeah. And you
to
gotta,
that
I have
part
to
of
take a
Peru.
plane that just flies island to island.
yeah, it would be tough, I think. Plus you gotta get up there. It's like what, 13,000 feet? So
Yeah. Well, that's not that part doesn't bother me. Um I like hiking. I like climbing.
yeah,
Not that I'm the best. I've done some mountain stuff, but yeah, I've just always thought that like I mean because that's Peru and that's its own culture.
right,
That
exactly.
would be super fun to experience, but the I don't know the concept of just climbing this mountain and being able to see so much, but also being next to um, the ruins of a city.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always thought would just be fascinating to see and to learn about. One day,
One day, man. One day. One day, Sean will be over in Camden on the coast of Maine, and
Yeah, mine's a little cheaper and a little easier.
and Stu will be hiking up Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks again, and I'm looking forward. Well, I've already got to listen to it, but everybody else can listen to Sonic Umami Volume 2 starting on May 9th.
Yes.
Go listen to it
Please listen. Yeah.
All
and
right.
help me out and
It's a lot of
follow
fun
us
to make.
too.
All right, guys.
Right.
We'll
All right.
talk
Take
to you
care.
later.
All right. Thanks,
See ya.
Chuck. See ya.
Yep. Many thanks to Stu and Sean from Pulphonics for joining me on this episode of Fans of Bands. It has been wild to witness the sonic evolution of Pulphonics. The new album, called Sonic Umami Volume 2, finds them exploring new realms including jazz, hip-hop, and ambient music. Both Stu and Sean are a joy to talk with, and I love how they continue to explore their sound and evolve as musicians. The new album just came out on May 9th. Get your copy and experience Sonic Umami Volume 2 for yourself. See the show notes for all the details and links. Bands are nothing without you, the fans. Purchasing music and merchandise is critical to their survival. If you can help out your favorite bands, please do. If you're in Michigan, consider following the Playing in Detroit Area Tonight and SE for Southeast Michigan Music Facebook pages. They are fantastic places for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show, telling your friends, telling your neighbors, telling your family, telling your priest, tell everyone, and leave a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jam.